Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Layman's Guide to Machine Learning. In this particular video tutorial, I'm going to explain you how to use some of the SQL analytical functions in Pandas. So we will understand like how to get the top and rows by a particular column in a data frame, how to get the lower and rows, how to get the top and rows by offset. So this is offset means that if you want to see the the lower and rows leaving from the top 5. Okay, so for example, if you want to see the you want to get the top 10, but you don't want to see the top 5, but you want to see the only the bottom 5 rows. And the next thing we'll understand the partition by, which is a very important and very widely used function in SQL, which allow you to uh, rank the rows on the basis by the group by. So in the partition by, what you do, you partition your data depending on some variable, and then you rank the rows within that particular group. And also we'll understand the lead and lag function. This function will allow you to do the you know uh, do the data manipulation, row-wise data manipulation. So in using this particular function, you can make your rows as a column, and then you can do the data manipulation exercise. So this lead and lag function is basically can be used for doing manipulation in data frames where uh, where there is a date and you want to get the difference of dates. So for example, the date is in a row wise, date is in a column, and you want to you know you want to subtract previous date to the uh, uh, previous date to the current date, and the functions like that. So we'll understand all these things in this particular tutorial. So I will first import the pandas and the numpy library, and I will put a data set. So this data set is basically a tips data set. Okay, so we'll understand what is this data set. So this data set is basically tells you the tips that has been tips that has given. So there is a total bill amount of tip, like who's what is the sex of the person who was given the tip, whether he's a smoker or non-smoker, on what day the tip is given, and what is the time of the tip, and what is the size of the people who are having dinner. So this is the data set. So now we'll start with the analytical function, right? So we will first see how to get the top and rows by a particular group. So the SQL code for this is that select all from data frame, order by tips, and descending order by tips, descending order of the tips, and then you are saying that we want you want to see the top 10 observation. So in pandas you can use the n largest function, and you define here what is what is the number of rows you want to see, and then you define the name of the column on which this n largest function will be applied. So if you can see here, so it has come like that. Okay, you can see here is that the largest tip is 10, and then 9, 7.58. So it is in a decreasing fraction. So the 10 largest tips you can see here. In the same way, there is a function called n largest function, and smallest function, which will allow you to see the 10 smallest tips that is given. So you can see here there is an 1 so it's in the from the smallest it is increasing, right? So this is the and largest and the smallest function you can use to see the top n rows and bottom n rows. Now there is another function in SQL. There is another thing like top n rows with offset. So what offset does is that so the SQL code here is that select all from DF order by tips descending limit 10 offset 5. So what it does is that it sorry. So what it does is that if you are saying that limit 10 offset 5, it will give you it will select the top 10 tips, and it will remove the uh, top 5 tips, and it will give you only the bottom 5, right? And so here, okay, so here in the same way we can use the n largest function. And so n largest function, since I want the bottom 10 tips, right? So I'm selecting here the n is equal to 15 and column tips, and I'm taking only the tail of this this particular output, right? So this n is equal to 15 give me the top 15 observation, but I am taking only 10. So it is somewhat like getting the bottom 10 observation. Now we will go to the partition by, and in the partition by our objective is to rank rows within a group, or to find the top n rows per group. So for example here so the normal SQL code is that you are selecting the data set, okay, then you want the row number, okay, and how do you want to number the rows is partition by day. So you want to group the data by day, and then you want to partition the rows within that you want to rank the rows within that particular group, okay, and also you want the total bill amount to be descending order, right? So so you want, and here this portion tells you that I want only the top 2 rows, right? Because the row number you want it in the end, you are subsetting the rows. So you are saying that row number should be less than 3. It means it will show only the top 2 rows. Okay, so so for that you have to do the normal group by function here. So you can see here I am creating a new column as row number, and I am sorting the values in the descending order, okay, as is done here, okay, order by total bill descending, and I am grouping by day because I want my data to be partitioned by days, and within that days the bill should be in descending order. Now I want to rank the rows within that day, right? So as you can see here, right, as you can see here, I am given the cumulative count method here, its function here. So cumulative count basically give the ranks from 0 to 1 within a group. So the +1 shows that it will start from 1, right? So okay, now I've run that. Now I want to sort the values by days and row. So now once this I have got this particular RN column. I want to, okay, I'll check that first. So as you can see here, right, as you can see here I've got the row number, okay, by day. So you can see here I've got the row number by day, right? But now why what I want to see is that top 10. I want to see the top two rows by the bill amount, right? So what I've done here is that I have sort the values again, sort the values day and RN, okay, and I am saying that give me the row number which is less than 3, right, which means that within the group it will select only the row number 1 and row number 2. So, right, so as you can see here, within the day Friday there are two bills that are highest, right? This is the 40 and the 28. Again the Saturday, you can see there you can see there are two bills, 50 and 48 is the highest. Again there is within the Sunday there is a bill for $48 and $45, which are two most highest bills. The same thing is that for Thursday there are two bills, $43 and $41, which is the highest. So this is how the partition by works with the cumulative count function, right, method. So what cumulative count does is that once you group by your data, the cumulative count function will give the rank the rows within the group from 0 to 1. So if you do not specify 1 plus 1, it will rank 0 to 1. If you specify plus 1, it will give you from 1 to the rank function, right? There is another function, and there is another method that you can use it. It is using rank after group by. So what using rank after group by does is that it will directly ranks your observation within a group from 1 to 0. So you don't have to use plus 1 that we have used earlier in a cumulative count function. So it's the same way what we have done. So I will import the data again, right? So in the same way I have done here, df.group by, I am doing it by day, and after that I am taking the total bill column, right? So what this group by means is that you are grouping it by day, then you are taking the total bill column, and total bill column you are ranking it, right? Method is equal to first. That means if there are two observations with the same value, the first one will be given the first value, and then ascending is equal to false. That means we are doing it in a descending manner, okay, and the ranking I am storing in this particular variable that is called Rn, right? Now again I am doing the same function. I want to see the top 4 rows within a group. That is why I am giving here the Rn is less than 5. So the query is another data filtration method. If you can go to my Pandas filter methods, you can see that query function there. So see, you can see here, right? You can see here this is giving the top 4 observation within a group, right? So this is so these 4 observation for Pandas group, and these 4 observation for Saturday, Saturday, right? So you can get the top 4 observation by each of the days of the week, right? So this is how this rank function is which is very easy to use and very useful when you are doing data manipulation part. Other thing is that there is a lag and lead function in Oracle which we might want to use it in Pandas data frame. So what lag and lead function is that it can make any value within the rows. It will give you a column for that. So let's understand how this lag and lead works. So I will just import the data frame again. Okay, now I wanted to understand this. I wanted to see what is the. So I wanted to see. Okay, wow, what is the difference of the bill? So I have used here the shift function, right? So so in that, when you specify the shift and in bracket 1, so what it does is that the total bill value at index 0 will shift to index 1 in the new column. So as you can see here, the total bill value, since I have applied the shift function on the total bill, so this total bill value, which is index 0, 16.99, it will go to index 1 at index 1 in the new column, right? So if you want to see what is the difference between the previous bill and the current bill, or what is the difference between the 16.99 and 10.9, like that, so then you can use this shift function. So in the same way, this value has come here, right? And same way, this 21.01, it has come here, right? So this function can be used like that. So what will happen if you use shift? We'll use the -1 in that. So in this way, the bill value, which is here, right, which is in index 1, will come at index 0 in the new bill. So for example, if you want to see what is the difference between the next row and the current row, then you can use that. So then the shift minus shift in the bracket -1, you can use that. So for example, so the next bill value was 10.34, so it has come here. 10.34 has come here. 21.01 will shift to, the index value will be the -1 to the current index value. So for example, if the 23.68 has an index value of 3 here, so -1, 3 -1, so it will be 2 here in the current column, right? So this is the lag and lead function. So another thing that we can do here is the diff function. So diff function will directly give you the difference of the column rows. So I'll just import the data set again. Okay, so you can see here I have put the diff function here on the total bill, and I've given the -1. Let us see what happens, right? So what is the -1? It says that it will give you the difference between the total bill value at index 0 and the total bill value at index 1. So it will give you the 16.99 minus 10.34, and the total bill value and the total bill lag will come in this particular column. So I think that's all from my side. I think you have enjoyed this video, So please share, like, and subscribe my channel. Thank you very much. See you next time.